Access granted.
Charlie, Hotel, Alpha, Oscar, Sierra.
Yo, what's up, my friends? Welcome to Chaos Live, my fun little live stream that I like to do on every other Thursday to hang out with you guys, answer some questions, whatever we got going on, all that kind of fun stuff. Got some awesome people that were here early to watch. Got a shout out. Let's see here. Let me go backwards in the chat a little bit. Because we have people that were here like really early, right? We got like Tiger Wolf was here super early. Logan was here early. Got Jana was here super early. Been waiting here for apparently 11 hours, apparently. Super stoked. And then, of course, we got some awesome individuals. We got like VGMR, one of our mods, and our Chaos Army commanders. A lot of people, they were here kind of hanging out. We got Edward. Scroll through the chat a little bit. Zachy VT, which, by the way, this awesome individual right here is the person that created this new feature that we're fully testing out today. We did this kind of a test stream on Sunday night to kind of try it out. Zach made some improvements, and now we're fully testing out with an actual live stream. So shout out to this guy for making all of this cool feature happen. This was a feature I wanted to have in my live stream. I couldn't find a good reliable one. So he was like, tell it, I'll make one. So he did. And I'm going to reward him awesomely for it because it was part of a bounty in the Discord channel. Link in the description box down below. So now I can feature you guys' questions on screen and answer some stuff. So I'm going to scroll down through the chat a little bit and we're going to answer some questions. If you guys have a question, something you want to know about the U.S. Army, something about the military, something about me, I guess, drop it in the chat. I do skip around, though, because sometimes the chat gets pretty full. And if I went in order and went to every single question, I'd probably get ways behind on some of you guys, and I wouldn't be able to keep up. So we do jump around a lot. So if I miss your question, you can ask it again, or hit me up on Instagram. I have my links to social media down in the description box down below. You can hit me up on Instagram and shoot me a message, and I'll get back to you a day, 2 days, 5 days, something around that time frame, and I'll get back to you. All right, so make sure that you hit me up and all that kind of fun stuff. All right. Let's see. Let me scroll to where we once actually started. Trying to find where we actually started the stream here. We'll start answering some of those. Love your Family Guy version of Chris Cast. Do I have a Family Guy version of me? I don't remember a Family Guy version of me. I think I have a I think I have like somewhere on my Instagram. I did a Simpsons version of me. I like this though. Let's see if it open Facebook and immediately it shines a Rockstar ad at me. It knows. It does. It does know VGMR. It knows that you're about to watch Christopher Chaos. So you should know about Rockstar energy drinks. My high school doesn't have an ROTC program. That sucks. Like, that's how mine was too. You know, I mean, it is pretty helpful if you have that program, and you can go to it and maybe come in with a little bit of rank and all that kind of fun stuff and get, you know, a little bit of a head start. But yeah, not a whole lot you can do if they don't have one, I guess. Probably should I turn the music back on? Is it weird not having the music in the background? Where is that at? Is that on here somewheres? I'm gonna turn the background music back on if I can find it in my settings. Maybe I don't. Maybe I took it off? Maybe I took it off. Yeah, I guess we won't. I don't see it in my settings to turn it on. Yeah, that's events. No, okay, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just my voice. Let's see, Michael. I'm a New York firefighter. I'm 20. Can I join the Army and go part-time firefighter? I don't know if that's an MOS in the reserves. That would have to be if you wanted to be part-time firefighter, like in the Army, or part-time firefighter, like you're gonna join the Army and then you want to be on active duty and then part-time firefighter. Probably not. If you're trying to do that way, like active duty and then part-time firefighter. They do have a firefighter MOS in the Army. It's a really tough one to get because there's not a lot of slots available for it because it's not an MOS that you have a lot of people doing because a lot of that is also civilians that do it. So if you're lucky enough, you can maybe score the MOS of a firefighter, 14 Tango or something like that. I don't remember what the MOS is and do it that way. I don't think it's available for the reserves though. So I don't know though. What's up, Anakin? Just thought, throw that up there. Jason loves the channel. Well, thank you, Jason. What's up, Miles? What's up, Super? A lot of people saying what's up. Doug likes the back in the day video, the newest video, talking about some of the differences from the early 2000s when I first joined, compared to what the Army is kind of like now. Question: what does ISA stand for? What do they do? I have no idea. If somebody knows what they're talking about as far as ISA, I don't think it's a very common acronym or something I'm very familiar with. From what you saw in the Army, do 11 Bravos get free time? We got a super chat too, by the way. We'll get to that super chat. That's what the blinking lights are. If you guys are not aware of that, we'll hit that up here in a second. But to answer Killer Beast's question first, sometimes it depends. I've known 11 Bravos that had like a crap ton of free time. I'll have to move the alerts. I just noticed that. I've known some people that have had like a ton of free time, and then they end up going like working out in the gym a lot. And then I was trying to mess with stuff and try to multitask, change how that kind of worked. Maybe like that. I don't know if I messed it up for the stream alerts, but sometimes you'll have a lot of free time. It just really depends though. And I've known people that'll do that and they'll get a lot of free time to go work out. Super chat wise, let's test out this little new cool feature. Oh man, I'm really behind on the chat, am I? Holy crap. I realized I was getting that far behind. I gotta find it now. Where did it go? So Zach, I noticed the only thing that's a little confusing is that on my screen for the choosing the things, the super chats don't look any different. So I gotta find the super chat to highlight it. So if there's a way like on my screen, if it could highlight, then that would be fantastic. I found it though. So yeah, it doesn't look like the super chats show anything different, but James Ellis, thanks for the super chat, man. You rock. Thanks for answering my question on Instagram about taking personal items with me to my first duty or to my first station after UI or AIT probably. I'm going for 31 Bravo as my MOS. So awesome. Hopefully all works out. Everything all goes well. I hope Hope it rocks. So yeah, good luck to you. All that kind of fun stuff. We got more super chats. Hang on, we got to catch up with some of the other ones. We got Bit Expert. Just saying what's up. So that's cool. Thanks, Bit Expert, for supporting the channel and helping me and, well, mainly Zach learn about his awesome app that he created to make this thing appear and everything like that. So, you know, trying testing stuff out, seeing what improvements we can make and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's really cool that we're here, though. And then we got Lance. Lance with a super chat. Thank you. You're awesome. My son's ship date is June 1st for OSIT at Benny 19 Kilo. Any words of advice for parents to ease our worry? We support him. Just letting go is tough. Yeah. No, I can understand that. You know, it's a tough thing. Whoa. We lost the... Are you messing with the super chat, maybe? Oh, wait, hold on. It's shown differently. That's weird. I don't know. Zach might be messing with the app right now. Yeah, I mean, it can be tough, right? You know, trying to, you know, go through that situation and everything like that with, you know, your child going off to the army and everything like that. They'll get chances to call. It depends. Is Gunrunner in here? No, I don't think I've seen Gunrunner in here. We got another guy that's in here that's one of the mods, Gunrunner, who recently went through 19 Kilo training at Benning. And he would have been a great person to be able to talk to and probably get an idea of what it was like recently going through. I think he just graduated like a few months ago or something like that. So, you know, they'll get a chance to probably call, write, and everything like that, hopefully. But, you know, advice, just, you know, be supportive, right? Maybe write letters. Don't make them too long. I remember when I was in basic training, I would get these super long letters from family members, and it was, you know, you don't have a whole lot of free time, and you don't want to spend a lot of that free time reading a really long letter. But, you know, writing a letter and saying, you know, what's been going on back home and everything like that, and just getting mail sometimes is pretty cool. Then that's awesome. Yeah. But if you, I don't know if you're a member, if you're that into all the stuff on the channel, but there's a link in the Discord channel. And you can always probably, like, you know, ask people in there. And Gunrunner, he just recently came through AIT and everything as a 19 Kilo and stuff. So, all right. Let me come backwards in the chat and see some of the other questions you guys had earlier. Can I get a house on base in the Army if I have a girlfriend, unmarried now? Not on base, no. On base housing is reserved for officers, higher ranking individuals, and married soldiers. So that's all. That's the only people that are getting into the barracks, or not into the barracks, but into on post housing. Living off base, like if you're, you know, you and your girlfriend wanted to try to pay for an apartment, you know, you don't make a whole lot of money as a lower enlisted soldier, so that makes it a little bit tough. But it's kind of a little bit of a challenge, right? They're not going to pay for your girlfriend to move somewheres or anything like that, and so you have to pay out of your pocket, and it gets pretty tricky. Guns do you fire in OCS? Probably a lot of the same ones you're going to do, like for basic training and everything like that, where you'll have the M4, obviously. You'll do some familiarization probably with the 203, with the I don't think they do the SAW anymore. I think they do the 240 Bravo, probably, and a few machine guns and a few other probably things. But I'm not 100% sure for OCS. I know what it's like for basic. I never went through OCS, obviously, so I couldn't tell you for sure. Got a super chat sticker. Let's try this out with a super chat sticker, shall we? It says undefined. That's fine though. So thanks for the super chat sticker. Super. You rock. What pistols does Special Forces use? I don't think I've ever seen what they have. I don't know if they still use the Beretta or if they use something else. The newer one, I forget what that newer one is called. But they still usually use M4s too. But they probably carry a pistol as well. But which pistol? I couldn't tell you. Can I ask a question? Of course you can. But now I could have just answered your question just then, but instead I answered that question. Just ask the questions. Let me come back a little bit. My son is a 13 Mike, halfway through basic at Fort Seal. Awesome, John. Tell your son that we're all rooting for him. Hopefully all goes well. Hopefully he goes amazing. Gets stationed in a great duty assignment and experience goes well. Not guaranteed, but hopefully everything goes well. It's my 40-yard dash time. I have no idea. Right now, it's probably pretty horrible. I've been really slacking on staying in shape and everything like that, and working out like I used to do. Got pretty lazy after like COVID and everything like that with our quarantine stuff we were doing and not doing anything. So I got to work on things. So it's probably nothing anything awesome and amazing. Thinking of making my profile pic my family crest. You think I should? Maybe that's up to you. How can I grow a beard like yours? I want one. I don't know. Everybody's facial hair grows differently. Some people grow in patches. Some people don't. Like mine, like it doesn't really go much higher. Like I kind of like it'd be nicer if it was a little bit fuller. Plus, when I grow it long, it gets really like mangy. So I have to I usually try to keep it short for the most part. Some of you guys may have seen some older videos. Some of my older videos, I have it pretty long, and I feel like it makes me look older. So keeping it shorter, I think is the way to go. Keeps me looking younger. Does a 19 Delta go through Arctic training? Probably not specifically because of that MOS, maybe because of where you're at, they do sometimes. Because any MOS could potentially do that. I mean, you can do Fort Drum, you could potentially go to like Poland or somewhere else to kind of do some stuff. I don't think it's really specific to the MOS. A lot of it's specific to like units. So like if you're in like 10th Mountain is pretty common to do some of that kind of things and mountain training and other stuff like that. So a lot of it probably just depends on your unit that you're assigned to. How do you cope with the stress and depressurize during basic training? I think you just have to kind of mentally prepare yourself for it a little bit, right? Just know that it's going to suck. I always tell people the best way to kind of prepare for basics sometimes is to just expect it to suck worse than anything that has ever sucked before. And if it turns out that it doesn't suck quite as bad as you thought it was going to, then that works out great. But don't go into it thinking that, oh, this is going to be easy, I can do this and everything like that. And then it turns out to be a lot harder than you thought it was going to be. And then that really messes with you. So a lot of it is just get into the mentality of just accepting that this is going to be the worst thing you've ever gone through. And that may not even be the case. You may have some fun during some times. There may be some times that suck really bad. And sometimes that you're like, man, that was pretty fun. But just go into it just with the worst expectations and everything like that. So that way, hopefully something turns out pretty good. Okay. Daniel's joining as a 25 uniform. Well, good luck to you. Have fun filling radios. I don't know who Jim Cornette fan. Jim Cornette? It's Jim Cornette. Does 12 Mike firefighter MOS require U.S. citizenship? I don't think so. You have to be a green card holder and you have to live in the United States. The common thing I get from a lot of people is they're asking me, how do I join the military from another country? You can't really. You got to live in the United States. It's the U.S. military, not the world military. So if you want to join the U.S. military, you have to be a U.S. resident. You have to be someone who's living in the United States legally, either with a green card or U.S. citizenship. And yeah, usually the people that need to have U.S. citizenship are officers or MOSs that need a secret clearance. If you need a secret clearance, then you probably have to have a U.S. citizenship. Firefighters, I don't think they have to have a secret clearance, so you probably could get in with a green card. But you also have to be living in the United States too. Is this live? No, pre-recorded. Pre-recorded. Should I do aviation in the Marines? If the Marines is what you want and they will give you aviation, cool. I know that like a lot of other branches, they don't guarantee like they do with the Army. Like how the Army will if you qualify for the MOS and it's available, they can lock you into that specific MOS. Where a lot of other um, branches will kind of be like, we can give you this general area, but I can't guarantee the specific job necessarily. So sometimes it can be tricky. If you talk to a Marine recruiter and they're like, yeah, I can guarantee you aviation, then sure, go for it. It just comes down to a lot of times talking to them and seeing what they can do for you. But sometimes it's very tough to get as far as like guaranteeing what you can do. Um, does every branch of the military have a part-time option in National Guard? I believe so. National Guard is Army. That's an Army thing. But there is I believe there's Navy Reserves, Air Force Reserves, Marine Reserves. I believe so. I'm not. Don't quote me 100% on that, but I think so. National Guard is an Army thing though. So if you're doing like the National Guard, I don't think they have a Marine National Guard, do they? I think National Guard is just straight up Army. I don't think they have like a Marine version or a Navy version of National Guard. But I do believe the other branches have reserves. So like you have Army reserves and everything like that. So yeah, there you go. How often did you get to work with soldiers from other countries? Not too often. So, like my first duty assignment when I was at Fort Riley, I never worked with anybody from other countries. When I got to Korea, I did because you worked with Koreans, obviously. But where I was at, we also worked with Swiss, and that was really about it. Because then, like when I went to Fort Carson, really didn't other than going to Afghanistan, working with a little bit here and there, but not really much. But usually don't work with a lot of other countries unless your specific unit is doing things with another country. So that's usually the only time that really happens. A lot of times. Do you get a campaign star for every time you deploy to Iraq or Afghanistan? No, they have specific events. So they have like time frames. Like if you were deployed during this specific operation during Iraq or Afghanistan, then that gives you a campaign star for it. So like I deployed twice to Iraq, but I think I have three, 3 stars or 4 stars. I can't remember what it is I have. I'd have to go and try to look on my uniform to remember for sure. But it's based on major events that were happening at the time that you were deployed to those locations that qualify you for that campaign star. But I want to say I have 3 or something like that. Does the military do Zoom meetings? No, they use not anymore. Anyways, they use Teams. So use Microsoft Teams is kind of but they have a government version of Microsoft Teams, so they use a more secure version, not just the same commercial version. It's very similar. It's just a little bit like a login way out wise and certain other things to be able to log in with military credentials and stuff. But they use Microsoft Teams. Do you have another job besides YouTube? I do, sadly, I guess. Well, kind of sadly. I mean, it's a fun job, but I would love to this be my full time job. That would be awesome and really cool. But yes, I do. If you don't know, for those of you that don't know, some of you do know, some of you don't know probably. But I work still with the Army on Fort Carson. I am an instructor. I teach soldiers how to use a system called JCR and JBCP, which is a navigation and reporting system that is mounted in a lot of vehicles. And I teach soldiers how to use that. Right now, we're kind of shut down because we're getting ready to do a big exercise. So I'll be helping out with the exercise and assisting to make sure that soldiers know how to use some of the software for some other computers for this training exercise. And then once that training exercise is done, then I'll go back to doing JCR and JBCP training. Can you do a vid what your day in life was in the army? Like mine specifically, I probably could. I have one that's kind of give us a general idea as far as what to possibly expect is what the day to day life could possibly be like. I don't think I don't think I've done one of mine specifically, and maybe that could be a thing we could fill in, at some point in time If you wanted to see like mine specifically, and maybe even dig up some old video footage to throw into it or something like that. Because I have video footage. I did this series called Soldier to Civilian that, if I would have known what I know now, probably could have really taken off. But I didn't really know what the hell I was doing when I was making YouTube videos then. And so that series didn't really do very well. Mm. See, Daniel says, after my 4 years, I'm going to go for Army flight school. Just going to build connections for now. Well, good luck to you, Daniel. Hopefully all goes well. When did I start YouTube? When YouTube first started. Because I had some videos from another channel where I had these little things that I made while I was in Iraq the first time. I posted those to YouTube, and that was like in 2006. I think it was when I posted those, something like that. So I did some stuff back then. This specific channel, I think I started this one in 2007 or something like that. And I was just doing like vlog type of stuff and then random ass stuff here and there. But I didn't start doing military stuff until 2017. Top three favorite movies. Office Space, 12 Monkeys, and let's go with, I don't know, a third one. Those are the first two that pop in my head. Maybe like Endgame or something like that. Endgame is pretty badass. I like Endgame. You have any idea how hard Space Force training? I would imagine it's very similar to Air Force training, which, every branch has certain parts of it that are difficult and certain parts that are easy-ish in a way. I feel like there's probably more easy parts, and not necessarily easy parts, but when you compare them to probably other branches of service, it's thought of as easy. It's not necessarily probably something that's just flat out easy. I wouldn't imagine, but there's probably, when you're comparing to other branches, probably easy in comparison. But I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I've seen that Space Force training is very similar to Air Force, especially since they kind of come from Air Force anyways. Should do a room tour. That might be something that I do on a vlog channel. I have a vlog channel. I haven't been keeping up with it. It's been a month or two or whatever since I posted a vlog on it. But there's a vlog channel. It used to be called DD214 Vlogs, but I just renamed it Christopher Chaos Vlogs. I think I have a link to it like on my website, or maybe even somewhere's on this channel too. Somewhere's there might be a link to it. If I did a room tour, it would probably be like on that vlog channel to show like my little office inside of here. It would probably be on that channel if I did it. So if you are interested in that, go subscribe to the Christopher Chaos Vlog channel, and let me know that that's something you want to see. Before you were in the Army, did you do Boy Scouts or JROT? I guess in JROTC and or ROTC. I was in Weeblos when I was younger, which is like before Boy Scouts, and that was it. My high school did not have a JROTC program. I didn't do Boy Scouts, so no, I didn't do any of that stuff. Just like maybe like a year or something like that of the Weeblos thing when I was like, what was that, like 7th grade, 8th grade, something like that. How do you get to be a 91 Fox attached to a Special Forces unit? There's no real way to like guarantee what unit you're going to go to. That includes going to Special Forces unit unless you're going to be Special Forces. But yeah, there's no telling. There's no specific way to go about trying to get attached to this specific unit or that specific unit. In this case, Special Forces. No real good way to be able to do that. Do you think that the Space Force is necessary? I don't know. I mean, the jobs of what Space Force is doing is basically jobs that Air Force personnel was doing. They're now separating those jobs out of the Air Force into the Space Force. Does that make it run better? Maybe. I don't really know. I don't really know. I mean, I don't know if it was a problem because it was just too overwhelming to do that in in the Air Force? I don't know. I was wondering how hard it is to become a field medic and how would I become one? Are you talking about like a 68 whiskey? I mean, it's kind of like what a 68 whiskey does. So that's an MOS for a medic, 68 whiskey. Um, so maybe look into that, see if that's what you're specifically looking for. Talk to a recruiter about being a 68 whiskey medic, combat medic, and see if that kind of fits the needs of what you're looking for. Can I still get in the army with a peanut allergy? Yes, I believe so. I think I've known people that had peanut allergies. There's certain like shots that it makes it to where you don't get because they contain some kind of chemical that's also in peanuts or something. I forget what it is. You'll end up with a red dog tag, and that tells everybody that you have an allergy to whatever and all that kind of stuff. So I do believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. I think I remember people that had that. Um, Hello, Chaos. My son just completed basic combat training Saturday at Sand Hill. He is now full on 11 Charlie training now. Your videos have been a big help for us in understanding what to expect. Big thank you. Well, awesome. Good luck to your son. Hopefully, all goes well. That's cool. Yeah, so Fort Benning. Um, Good deal. Hopefully, he gets an awesome duty assignment. Does National Guard have PSYOPs? I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure. I know they have in the reserves because I have a friend who is doing PSYOPs in the reserves, and obviously it's an active duty thing. But don't I don't think, or I'm not really sure if they have it in National Guard. But I know they have the reserves. Can you date a civilian while joining the military? Of course. That's usually what most people recommend. I mean, I wouldn't say, that's, a sure shot thing. I mean, a lot of people don't recommend that you date someone else in the military when you're in the military, but there's the experiences that vary probably with that. But yeah, you can be dating a civilian. Yes, there you go. There's the Air National Guard. That's right. Air Force has a National Guard. So is it just the Army and the Air Force that has a National Guard? I don't think there's a Navy National Guard, is there? Or a Marine National Guard? How far am I behind the chat? I'm going to skip through. Sorry, I'm going to jump past a bunch of guys' questions because I realize I am pretty far back in the chat, and I don't want some of you guys to feel left out. So if I miss some stuff, um, just ask it again or send me a message in Instagram or something like that. Man, we got super chat. Hang on, we did that here. Just watched a vid from you 11 years ago. What video was that, Anakin? Super chat from VGMR. Let me come down to VGMR saying, holy crap, I am really behind. VGMR's got some words of wisdom for some of you guys. Look, I got the thing in the way. Never date another soldier. They know exactly what they can take from you. I've known some relationships that went well, from dating other soldiers or whatever, but I've also known some that was difficult and horrible. So, it's pretty tough. Depends, experiences will definitely vary. All right, so I'm pretty far down in the chat now. Let's get to the current time. What was Fort Hood and Bliss like? I was never stationed there. I've only visited there. I've been to Fort Hood to do some training, and then I went to Fort Bliss for like a day to do something one time a couple years ago and stuff like that. But I couldn't tell you. Fort Hood definitely goes to the field a lot. They go to the deployments a lot. Bliss, I couldn't tell you. I mean, it seemed like a little bit of a rough area. You're pretty close to Mexico, and from what I understand from a lot of people that I've talked to that have been stationed there, says there is some pretty rough crime in that area, but it varies, I guess. By the way, If any of you guys are in the Fort Riley, Fort Hood area, I might be visiting for a few days to do some stuff at Hood and Riley in July, and maybe we can do something. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. How many states have I been to? Quite a few, probably. Thoughts on the Call of Duty games? I like the Modern Warfare ones. I'm not a big fan of like the Advanced Warfare or the old school ones so much, but the Modern Warfare ones, I like those ones. Those are cool. Caliber says, "Go Cav Scout, huh?" How difficult is it to get into warrant officer flight school? I understand that it can be difficult. I don't know for sure. I think I heard you have to get like a recommendation from um like another warrant officer or something crazy like that. I think there's some pretty crazy requirements to be able to get it. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think I've heard some pretty crazy stuff about how it can be pretty challenging. Hey Chris, let's say I'm transitioning from guard to active duty. Would it still be possible for me to get an option 440 or 40 contract? It's more of a, so it's not necessarily a contract at this point anymore because you're already in the military and you're just transferring components from National Guard, reserves, whatever, to active duty. But so is what you would have to do is you would have to try to um get it in your reenlistment because you're basically going to have to reenlist for that, I believe. So you're going to have to talk to your retention NCO and say, "Hey, I want to go active duty, but with my active duty contract, I want to get this. I want to go to airborne. I want to go to Rangers, whatever it is you're trying to go for," and then see if they can't get that into your contract or not. But it's not necessarily the same as a contract, so you have to try to talk to your retention NCO now because it doesn't go. I don't think it goes through a recruiter when you're changing branches. I think it just goes through your retention NCO, and you'd have to try to see if they can get something cool like that. How hard is the ASVAB? It depends on your education level, really. Right? There's some stuff that's easy, some stuff that's hard. Right? It's a broad kind of level of things. It has some basic math, but it also has some like algebra and other kind of type of math and all sorts of other topics and stuff like that. So it really just depends on your education that determines how well you do on that sucker. Mm. It's like Caliber's having some problems with autocorrect. Feel your pain, my friend. Is it hard to get an option 40? It really just depends on needs of the Army. There might be certain time frames where they just are super filled up with slots, and so it's hard. And then other times where they really need to fill classes coming up, so it's easy. There's no real tough saying. It just really depends on the times, right? So you have to just talk to a recruiter, say, hey, they probably know what the current trend is and what it's currently like as far as other people that have probably been trying to get the option 40 contract, if they've been successful in getting it or not because of whatever reason. So you'd have to talk to a recruiter, but it's going to vary based on needs of the Army at that specific time. Why are so many soldiers cheated on? I think a lot of it just comes down to being out of town, right? I mean, other jobs can be like this, not necessarily soldiers. I mean, if you have a profession where you're out of town a lot, you know, soldiers are either out of town or they're in the field, so it's kind of like being out of town. And you end up with someone that's just not very faithful to waiting for you. It's lonely, things happen, and they end up cheating on someone. So yeah, I mean that's going to happen with jobs that require you to be away from home often too, though. Are we allowed to talk to a army recruiter under the age of 17? Probably not very far. I think I've heard 16 is usually like if you're under the age of 16, I think I've heard from some people that recruiters don't really entertain much of what you want to know about. They'll tell you like, "Hey, come back at a later age or as you get a little older or whatever." So I think I've heard 16 is kind of the preferred range, 16 and older, right? Under 16, I think I've heard from some people saying that they'll tell you to come back another time. How do your 68 whiskey pals like their job? I only knew a few here and there, but I think all of the ones I knew, they loved it. They said they had so much fun. They enjoyed doing that kind of a thing. And I think that's probably because they were interested in the medical field. So I don't know if of the 68 whiskeys I've known, I don't think I've known any of them that hated being a 68 whiskey. I think all of the 68 whiskeys I've known like being a 68 whiskey. If you guys don't know, there's another YouTuber guy, good dude, Ben Allen. If you guys go look at Ben Allen, he's actually a medic. He was in the active duty and he's now in the reserves as a medic. So sometimes he makes medic related content. Go check him out. I recommend him. Chris, you think that they'll let my family see basic training OSA graduation again anytime soon? Possibly. I thought I heard that there are some locations that are actually starting to do that now in select numbers or something like that. Can't remember. So that might be a thing pretty soon. I think they're starting to kind of relax things a little bit on there. So, by the way, the awesome creator of this little feature right here that's popping up is because of this guy right here. It's weird. My side of the app displays the full super chat thing, but yours doesn't. Might look at that later. Okay. But shout out to Zach. He's the one that's making all this happen behind the scenes, creating this app for me because it didn't exist, or the ones that did exist weren't very good. So he was like, I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna build this thing out. So again, shout out to Zach. He's awesome, making all this stuff, cool stuff happen for you guys. How the barracks look like? Are they bad? No, barracks are pretty good nowadays. Barracks sucked. Like I talked about in my video that I did yesterday, right? How like when I first came in the army, they sucked, and they got better over the years, right? I mean, they started getting better, especially towards like the last 4 or 5 years I was in the army. But even now, they're pretty good. They for the most part, usually your most common barracks setup is going to be you have a big building and multiple floors probably, and you go down the hallway and there's a door and you have a key. Sometimes some actually have now like key cards, like a hotel does. That you swipe and it unlocks the door. And when you open up that door, you have a small little area that's not super big, but it's like a little kitchenette. So you got like a refrigerator. Most of them nowadays have like full size refrigerators. And then, I just thought of, did I miss a super chat from earlier that I forgot all about? Let me come back to that. But full size refrigerators, stoves, and then you have the kitchen or the bathroom and everything. And then you have two more doors that that you go through that then have the two different rooms because you have a roommate. And then when you get higher in ranking, then that's when you get your own room kind of a thing. So VGMR was last super chat. I got to that one. So barracks rooms are much, much better than the way they used to be. So barracks rooms are actually pretty good. I mean, there might be some times where you get stuck in some kind of temporary barracks that suck, but most of the ones now are pretty good. And then we already answered this one too. I don't know if you didn't see it earlier, but option 40 depends. I just said it earlier. I thought I'd answer your question or somebody else had the same question. So it really just depends. You'd have to talk to a recruiter to see what the current demand is for option 40. Can we repeat our question if you miss them? Yes, but after a while, if I just keep on missing your question, hit me up on Instagram. So just don't forget that, guys, all right? I am not too big of a deal that I get flooded with messages at this point in time, at least, on Instagram. Usually I'll have one or two, maybe at the most, sometimes 10, 15 messages. And I'll try to get back to them as, in a good process, right? If I don't get to your question here in the chat, hit me up on Instagram. Go follow me on Instagram. Shoot me a message. I'll get back to you the same day, maybe a couple days later, whatever the case is, and I'll answer your questions. If you have questions, I'm all about helping you out with the Army. If you have questions about a scammer, I'm kind of cutting that crap off. I don't really help out with scammers anymore because I've just constantly answering the same questions, and I just tell you don't send damn money to people and you'll be good. But nobody wants to listen to me. Paul says, Fort Bliss, false advertising. Nothing blissful about it. They have a cool PX. Their PX is humongous. They have a huge PX and food court and all that kind of stuff like that. So that part's pretty cool. Question, I'm swearing in tomorrow, 25 Quebec. Any pointers and words of advice and things I should bring or not bring and what I should do in basic to be in the right foot? I mean, pointers are tough. I mean, it's gonna vary, but I mean, go into it expecting everything to suck really, really bad. Hopefully, it ends up not being too bad. What to bring? Hopefully, your recruiter should give you like a packing list of what you have to bring. You have to bring like, was it white socks? You get issued some black socks probably. Hygiene gear, everything like that. Don't if you're gonna bring mouthwash, make sure it's alcohol free. Don't bring cologne, that kind of a thing. Don't bring any knives. You can bring your cell phone. You're gonna have to probably lock it up though. Don't bring too much cash, right? Don't bring. I think they recommend don't bring more than like $50 or $100, something like that in cash. Just because you don't want to take the chance of losing it. Things like that. Hopefully, your recruiter should give you some kind of a packing list. I would hope. Sometimes you can look it up online if you know where you're going to go for basic training. Sometimes you can look it up online to see what the packing list is and what they recommend you bring for that installation. Is it more difficult to get into high school to flight school without a college degree? I don't know if it matters. I don't think you're like high school or college gives you an advantage. I don't know for sure on that, but I don't think I've ever heard anything of if it gives you an advantage or not. So I don't think so. Talk to a recruiter though. Recruiter could probably tell you, but I don't believe it makes a difference. Hey Chris, it's Bree. How are you doing today? Well, what's happening? In this case, your Rainbow Six Roblox. Everything is great. I know 100% I want to join the army as an 11 Bravo, but I'm confident on where to join, or I'm conflicted on where to join before or after college because I don't really know what I want to do after the army. That kind of comes down to, do you want to be an officer? Do you want to be enlisted? Do you want to come in with some rank? I mean, you can't really do the reserves at 11 Bravo. So I would say you could go to the reserves and do college while you're in the army, but you can't do that as 11 Bravo. So you have to go active duty. And National Guard, I think, has 11 Bravos, don't they? But that's not going to be the same experience probably that you're probably looking for, though. So it's tough, right? You can potentially go to college after the army, before the army. If you go before the army, then you can potentially come in as either an officer or come in as an E4. So I mean, yeah, it's really personal what your goals are. Really, you know, if you want to be an officer, then obviously you have to do college first. If you want to be enlisted, then you can come in with a little bit of rank, but it's up to you, I guess. I don't know if I'm just so far behind, but I do see this question popping up, and I answered it earlier. It depends. So I won't be answering that question anymore if you keep on asking it. Currently, AIT for 91 Bravo was wondering what kind of units I could expect to end up in. 91 Bravo, I can't think what 91 Bravo is off the top of my head. 91 Bravo MOS is a wheeled vehicle mechanic. A lot. There's going to be a lot of options. So there's not really going to be any kind of specific unit you're going to go to because everybody needs mechanics to work on their vehicles because most units in the Army have vehicles. So you can end up anywheres, right? There is no, I couldn't tell you that you're most likely to go to Fort Hood or Fort Carson or whatever. No, it literally could be probably anywheres. That's a unit, that's a type of MOS that is pretty much everywhere. Specialist to corporal in basic training, AIT? No, they're not going to need it. There's no need for you to be a corporal in basic training or AIT. That's going to be more of a unit thing, where if your unit needs you in a leadership position. Maybe you've already gone to the board. Maybe you're about to go to the promotion board, whatever kind of thing. Then they might make you a corporal. There's no need for corporals in AIT and basic training, so they're not going to make you a corporal. Plus, also the key thing with being a corporal is if, let's say, as an example, right, my last unit, 410 Cav, Fort Carson, right? If you're in 410 Cav, that unit, they make you a corporal, and then you go off to some other unit, you go back to being a specialist because your corporal rank was specifically for that unit. If you go to another unit, then you have to go back to being a specialist. If they want you to be a corporal because they need you in a leadership position, then they put in the orders for you to become a corporal again. But otherwise, it's not like something that carries over in that kind of way. So not needed in AIT, but also if you change units as a corporal, you go back to being a specialist. Will I lose enlistment bonus if I go airborne? I mean, if your MOS is something that's offering a bonus for it and you qualify for that bonus, going airborne shouldn't matter. So the bonus is really determined or based on the MOS you're going into. How are we doing on time? 56 minutes about? All right. How can I go to air assault school and airborne? So airborne is a thing that you can potentially, if you're lucky enough, you can get into your contract and, go directly through that after you're done with basic training, and go airborne or after AIT, whichever. Air assault is usually unit based. There's a lot more air assault schools where airborne is only one. That's at Fort Benning, right? But air assault, there's multiple air assault schools. So air assault is usually something that you have to request through your unit, not something you can get into your contract, not something you can just go straight to after basic or AIT. So you go and you get to your unit and you tell them, hey, I'm interested in going to air assault school. If a slot comes about, can I go? Sometimes it's competitive where they're going to, if you have only 2 slots available for them to send 2 people to air assault school, but there's like 4 of you that are trying to go, then it's going to be a competitive thing where whoever has the best PT score, best physical fitness score, the best soldier, those 2 people are going to get to go. So sometimes it can be competitive for those kind of things, your unit based on slots. Hey, Chaos, my internet crashed, but I still wanted to ask a question about Jack go to college. I don't know. I'm guessing that's a typo, but first and get Ranger contract, or should I go through basic combat training and then go to Ranger training? So you're saying go to college and then do a Ranger contract? So then you'd be officer, or just go enlisted and go Ranger? I think it just depends on if you want to be enlisted or if you want to be an officer. So I guess that depends on you. I don't really have a good recommendation of which one's going to be better. I think it's going to come down to you, really, as far as do you want to be an officer or do you want to be an enlisted soldier? And do you want to go, and if you're talking about Ranger school, that's just to get the little Ranger tab to show that you've been through this advanced leadership course for Ranger training. If you're trying to go to RASP to get into the 75th Rangers, then that's different. That's a little bit harder, or a lot harder, I think. I don't know. I didn't go through it, but I've known a few people here and there that I've talked to about it. But sounds like RASP obviously should be a lot harder than Ranger school. So I think it depends on you. Why does 11 Bravo get a certificate for sniper school, but 11 Delta doesn't? I don't think 11 Delta or 19, how did I say 11 Delta? 19 Delta. I don't think 19 Delta is an MOS that qualifies to go to Ranger school. I don't remember. I did that Ranger or that. God damn it! I'm like mixing all up. Not Ranger school, sniper school. I did that video on sniper school, and I can't remember if I talked about if there was MOS requirements. I think there was, but I couldn't tell you. But for the most part, off the top of my head, a 19 Delta is a scout. Their whole thing is not to be detected. So you firing a weapon could make you be detected. I mean, that's not all they do. They do other stuff where they do assault the enemy and everything, but their main job is to collect intel and observe the enemy, do recon missions, and observe the enemy to report back, to plan attacks, and do everything else like that. So they're not usually the main assaulting effort. That's 11 Bravos. Super chat is going off. There it is. Paul Hansen. It's not going to end up showing up. Holy crap, guys! I'm really behind on the chat again. Sorry about that. Doesn't show up in there, but Paul Hansen, thank you for the $5 super chat. You're awesome. You rock. Appreciate you. All right, so that did motivate it to jump down a ways into the chat, so that way I'm not so far behind. E6 Chaos. I mean, you're saying you're an E6? You do YouTube and your country proud. Great job. Well, thanks, Wayne. Let me come down a little bit here. Do you need the GT score of 110 to join ROTC if you are enlisted? Probably that's a pretty common GT score of 110 for a lot of things. A lot of times you want to reclass, you want to go officer, you want to do a lot of things. 110 GT score is a pretty common one. So possibly, I don't know for sure off the top of my head, but there's probably a good possibility. 110 GT is a pretty common thing. You don't want to do anything. How do I become a 75th Ranger like my father? You want to talk to your recruiter about going to RASP, or later try to request to go to RASP. So you have to go to Ranger Assessment and Selection, and you go through the training. And if you pass but are also selected, because it takes more than just passing it, you also have to be selected. So if you pass it and are selected, then you go off to the 75th Rangers. But you also need to find an MOS that also qualifies. There's actually a long list of them, but there's certain MOSs that don't qualify for RASP to go to the Rangers. So you also have to make sure of that too. Nick says, just had my last day in the Army after 10 years. Got my beanies and I'm out. Well, good luck to you in the civilian world. Hopefully all goes well. And accomplish your dreams, my friend. If I live in one place, would they just stick me in the closest place for like your duty assignment? No, if you're doing active duty, they're gonna stick you where they need you. So they don't care where you're from, none of that stuff like that. They're gonna stick you where they need your MOS and all that stuff. If you're doing like reserves and National Guard, then yeah, your reserve unit will be something that's you get to kind of pick it or something like that. As far as if you have multiple or not, but you're gonna get a unit that's in your area. And you may have to travel, maybe right in your area, whatever the case is. But active duty, no. Let's see. I changed the name, fixed my account. What is the difference between corporal and specialist? They are the same rank or no? Pay grade wide, yes. So they make the same amount of money. A specialist, or corporal compared to a specialist. A corporal is going to be in a leadership position. So usually, if you have a person who's an E4 who they want to be in a leadership position, but they have not yet made the requirements or whatever to make sergeant, then they might make that person a corporal, so that way they can be a non-commissioned officer and be in a leadership kind of role, maybe like a team leader or something like that. And then you just become a corporal. So it kind of sucks because it's more work for the same pay. For the most part. Sometimes it's fun having that responsibility and, being considered an NCO, but sometimes it kind of sucks too that you're just doing more work and all these other specialists are getting paid the same as you, but yet you have to do more. You have a friend who's in the Rangers? No, I've just talked to several people that were in the Rangers. I don't actually have any friends that I can remember. Well, one-ish. I haven't talked to him in a while. I think he just recently is getting out of the Army. I think he was in the 75th Rangers, but I haven't talked to him in a while. What are perspectives of someone joining at 29, 30? Get ready to be called old, even though you're not. But to those 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds that are fresh out of high school or whatever, joining the military, you are to them. As long as you can keep up, make sure you're in good shape so you can keep up with everybody and You know, don't get too much crap, kind of a thing. But expect, to get that kind of thing. Get expected to be called old, even though you're. I don't think of 29 or 30 old. How is 91 Bravo deployments? Going 91 Bravo, leaving right after the last day of school in a couple weeks. Busy as crap. That was the one we just looked up earlier, right? The mechanic, right? Is that what it was, right? If it's a wheeled mechanic, busy as crap. I remember the mechanics, both deployments, right? You're trying to fix vehicles, trying to get them back to being mission capable. So that way you don't have too many vehicles down. They're doing services. Sometimes they're working late nights, early mornings. Busy, 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 busy. So yeah, they can be pretty hectic on a deployment for 91 Bravo. How high of scores do you need to get into the armored regiment? So they don't care. Units, you're not like your scores on ASVAB or whatever do not determine what unit you go to. Your MOS does, and what units need what MOS. But they don't look at specific people based on their scores to put them in this unit compared to that unit. That stuff doesn't matter. Your ASVAB scores and all that kind of stuff really only matter for qualifying you for the MOS, sometimes for bonuses, for options to reclass to another MOS if you want to do that kind of a thing. But beyond that, that's it. Your ASVAB scores will not affect your day-to-day life and what units you do or don't go to. I just watched your first video on this channel. Is it the one in Iraq, my first time, where I'm got the sound effects going and the fake mortar attacks and all that kind of stuff? Can someone who is 41 join as an officer? Typically, no, but there is always the potential of a waiver. I don't know if 41, though, is too far past the point of them authorizing a waiver, but who knows? If they are super, super desperate for someone to get in as an officer, then maybe, but I would say your chances are very unlikely. I don't know if they're impossible or 0% chance, but I feel like they're probably pretty low. If you were trying to come into even the military, even as enlisted or as an officer, either way, at the age of 41, if you didn't already have some prior experience, it's pretty low because prior military, it works a little bit differently, right? So if you were, let's say, 41, but you were in the Army for 10 years or whatever like that, you would still probably be eligible to come in back into the Army. But if you had zero military experience and you're just 41, then your chances are probably pretty low. I plan to do the Ranger School and RASP. Yeah, so doing both. So like in that Ranger video that I have, I explain it too. Like as an officer, it's required to do both Ranger School and RASP. And then as an enlisted soldier, it's only required for you to do Ranger School after you've done RASP before you become an NCO. So if you go through RASP, get selected, get into the Ranger Regiment, you don't have to go through Ranger School until they get to the point where before you're going to go and become an NCO. There you go. Thank you, Paul. Y'all listen to Chris. He knows what he's talking about. First Sergeant retired. Well, thanks, Paul. Appreciate you backing me up. I don't claim to know everything. Like I won't say I know everything. Damn alerts in the way. I won't claim to know everything, right? Sometimes I try my best, and if I'm not 100% sure on it, then I'll try to point you in the right direction, which is the NCO answer for everything. NCO answer is I may not claim to know everything, but if I don't, then you're supposed to be able to point a soldier, in this case, point you guys, into the direction to find the answers. Can't always do that, but I try. Super chat. Let me come down. We got Bree with a super chat. Here we go. Hopefully this brings the chat back up for you. In 5 months, I'm signing for, was it New York NG? Love you, Chris. I watch all of your MOS Mondays. It makes me want to reconsider 31 Bravo. Well, thank you, Bree, for the super chat. You rock. You're awesome. Good luck to you for 31 Bravo. Hopefully it works out for you. Hopefully all becomes, your dreams are met. Is that the mechanic one? I keep on forgetting. Like, I don't have all the MOSs memorized, but is that the mechanic one? That was originally the MOS I was going to go for. I'm kind of glad I didn't. Some people, and I don't mean that to like discourage anybody that does want to do 31 Bravo, but holy crap, they work some crazy hours. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. Do all officers start their commission as second lieutenant, or are there specific jobs that would get a civilian to commissioned at a higher rank, like the Army Cybers, especially maybe? No, I think the only time that you can kind of come in and like skip like second lieutenant, I think is for doctors. I think that's the only exception they allow to skip. Otherwise, everybody else, you start off as a second lieutenant, have you work your way up to first lieutenant, and so on and so forth. But I think doctors, if you have a doctorate and you want to come into the Army, I think they will like bump you up to captain or something like that. I forget what it is. But I think those are the only ones they kind of do that with. Another super chat. Hey Chris, on May 27th, I'm going to be signing 18 X-ray contract for Special Forces. Do you have any particular option or advice for that path? I can give you a little bit of advice. Obviously, don't take this as my advice because I've been through this. I have not, but I do have a good friend who did. So some of the stuff I remember from him. Land nav kicks your ass. So study your ass off on land navigation, how to read a map, how to plot points, how to shoot an azimuth, how to do all of that stuff. I have a video on it, but don't just go off of that one video that I have. Do your research and check out other people's videos. You know, find little tips and tricks from everybody else. Land nav is one of the many probably hardest things a lot of people say that kicks people's ass, and they end up failing because they couldn't pass the land nav course. And it's not some simple land nav course of like, oh, we're going to go from this point to that point, and that's going to be a mile away. No, I've heard that some of the points in Special Forces and SFAS for the land nav course, maybe several miles. The land nav, I think, course is like freaking, I think, like hours long. I think it goes through the night and into the morning kind of a thing. You're not supposed to really stop to sleep because you have a tracker on you. And if they see that your tracker has stopped, they don't know if that's because you're sleeping or because you got hurt and you're unconscious or something like that. So they're going to come find you. And if they find that it's because you're sleeping, I think they'll fail you for that. So yeah, land nav, big one. Be in good shape, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, good luck to you. Hopefully it works out and you come back and tell us all about how you're an awesome Special Forces dude now. Did we have another super chat? I don't think so. I think I've seen a thing pop up, but I don't think I've seen it pop up in the chat. Come back to that. Did I say, where was it at? I think someone was saying it was 91 Bravo a military police. Did I say, or is that the one I was confused with mechanic? I don't remember. MP is 31 Bravo. Okay. And who was it doing 31 Bravo? Was it Bree or was it someone else? But so 31 Bravo MPs, I've heard mixed things. All right. There was some guys I recently had in a class that I was teaching, and they've been MPs for a couple of years, and they haven't really done MP stuff, really. They've been doing a lot of training, a lot of field exercises, but they have not gotten to spend any time in a patrol car, patrolling the base and doing investigations and arrests and all that kind of craziness. So, but then I've heard some people that do. So just be aware that it can vary. It can depend sometimes on the unit, other people that are in that unit with you. What are we at on time? An hour and 14? Holy crap. We're going to give it a little bit more time, and I'm going to go backwards in the chat and answer maybe a couple questions that maybe I missed. I went over it, and then we're ending the stream here pretty soon. We're about usually I go about an hour. A lot of times I always say an hour, and it ends up being like an hour and a half pretty much. So if I don't get to your question in this chat, hit me up on Instagram. I'll either get back to you tonight, maybe tomorrow, within a week, something. But hit me up inside of Instagram, and I will do my best to try to answer your guys' questions if you have a question about the Army or about whatever. But even just in general, just make sure you're following me on Instagram, right? I need to really work on my Instagram game, right? I got like 80,000 something subscribers, but like only 2,000 Instagram followers. So my Instagram game is sucking, guys. You got to help me out. It looks horrible, right? This guy with 80,000 subscribers only has 2,000 followers on Instagram. Meanwhile, I see other YouTubers that have less subscribers than me on YouTube, but like kick my ass in Instagram and have like like 20,000 followers on Instagram and all that stuff like that. So help me out. Follow me on Instagram. NCO means non-commissioned officers. Yeah. So if someone was asking what an NCO is, it's a non-commissioned officer. Start with 88 Mike first or 11 Bravo. So you're looking for like a recommendation of which one to start off with. It's up to you, really, right? 11 Bravo, you're gonna be doing a lot of training. Some of the gripes I've heard from like people, in that two MOSs, right? 88 Mike was mine, obviously. I have a lot of friends that are 11 Bravos. Is that they would say that, hey, at least you get to do your job all the time, right? Where 11 Bravo, you only get to do your job when you're deployed, or you're just training to do it all the time. So some people kind of hated that. So it's up to you, though. Any advice going into 19 Delta? I don't really particularly type of thing. If Gunrunner was in here, probably busy in the field or something like that, he would be a great person to give you some advice. Go join the Discord channel. I know there's Gunrunner, and I think there's maybe even a couple other people that are 19 Deltas. Or he's a 19 Kilo. My bad. 19 Delta Scout. I still don't have any good advice for you though. I don't remember if we have any scouts in the Discord channel. I don't remember. But join the Discord channel anyways. Maybe they can help you out. I'm gonna need to study land nav. You were doing the MP though, Bree, right? So I mean, land nav isn't that big of a deal for you. I mean, you'll do land nav training and basic training, OSIT, and all that kind of fun stuff. If you're doing MPs, you'll do OSIT. But for 18 series, special forces stuff like that, it's huge, huge thing. You really have to be amazing at land nav, otherwise it'll jack you up. Yeah, there you go. Robert says, yeah, land nav and just don't quit. The 18 X-ray type of thing, yeah. Don't quit. One of the stories I remember that was kind of funny from my friend who did the 18 X-ray option and everything like that. He didn't make it, by the way, but um, he said it was tough. And he said that there was actually a point in pre-RASP that he had to do where he was going through pre-RASP before he actually went to, not RASP, but I mean pre-SFAS before he went to SFAS. And he said that the instructors came out and they were like, we got 4 too many. I can't send all of you guys to SFAS. We need 4 of you to quit. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to smoke the shit out of you until 4 of you quit. And he said that they were getting smoked for hours, it felt like. It probably was. It probably was for hours and hours and hours. Till finally, one at a time, people started quitting. And then finally, when they finally got down to, enough people that quit, then they were like, all right, go inside. So don't quit. If it means a lot to you, don't quit. What school opportunities are there? I don't. Maybe there's a lot. It just depends. I mean, if you're talking about like civilian schools, it's pretty tough on active duty. There's situations where you might be able to kind of get some college in, but it's pretty tough. Um, and then other schooling, I mean, there's some little classes you'll do here and there. The important ones, like if you're trying to get like ranger and you're trying to get airborne and air assault, that comes down to funds for the unit. If the unit has the funds to send someone to it, and then it's pretty competitive sometimes too, because they don't have funds to send everybody that wants to go. They can only send certain people, so it gets tough. I agree with Jack here. We need to get Chris to 100K. We have a goal of 100,000 subscribers before this year ends. We're most likely on track to make that happen, but still can't get complacent. Hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed to this channel and you're sitting here hanging out watching this live stream. Subscribe. Important. A collab between Chris and Matt Ward would be hella epic. So, I don't even think Matt is doing YouTube anymore. He hasn't posted a video in a long time. He hasn't been very active. His Instagram is private. So I don't know if he's busy, things are going on in his life, or what the deal. I have no idea. So I don't think Matt is creating anymore. For one. Two, I actually tried to do that once. And he said he was down for it, and we were going to do a collab, and then he ghosted me. And I never heard from him ever again. So I don't know. Uh, JROTC also gave LandNav. It's good. So if you go through JRTC, you can learn some LandNav stuff. It's a good deal. Um, decided that I wanted to join the army, and when I retire, I want to be a truck driver. Should I be an 88 Mike? But at the same time, I want to be a Grunt 11 Bravo. What should I do? Just be aware, like if you do 11 Bravo, right, you're gonna just do a lot of training. Probably do some pretty cool stuff, because you get to do a lot of training with weapons and everything like that. I would say if your goal is you want to retire from the army and then be a truck driver, I feel like 88 Mike would probably be the better option for you because you're going to get a lot of training, you get a lot of skills, and it's going to help make you better at being a truck driver and all that kind of stuff. It's more related to what you want to do. It's not going to be the same in the military as it is on the civilian side. I almost thought it was like that before I joined too, where I thought I was going to be like driving across country and hauling equipment. No, you're just moving things around on base and to the ranges and stuff like that. On a deployment, a little bit more, but you're doing it in a convoy. You're never by yourself, type of thing. So the key thing is I've known some people that were 88 mics and then became a truck driver, and like the experience with maneuvering these large vehicles, trucks with trailers and everything like that really helped them for transitioning into being a truck driver. Couldn't get the words out. All right, a couple more questions, and we're gonna see. I told you guys I always say an hour, and it always ends up being an hour and a half. Imagine Chris is a drill sergeant, and you were in the shark attack, and you just think, "I love his vids." That would be funny. I feel like that would be pretty funny. I would not. I don't think I'd want to be a drill sergeant. That's a tough job. That's a tough job. I've known people that were drill sergeants. It's tough. You have to deal with some people that are just awful people, and you have to try not to lose your cool, otherwise you're gonna get a lot of trouble. But that would be pretty funny. If let's say in that scenario I was still in the army, I was a drill sergeant, and you're someone who watched me before you joined the army, and now I'm up in your face yelling at you. Yeah, it'd be a weird situation. I have students that go through my class now for training because I train soldiers now, and occasionally there'll be people like, "Are you Christopher Chaos? I think I know you. Are you on YouTube?" um. All right, I think let's go backwards in the chat. Let me check out a couple more questions, and then we're gonna be ending the stream here pretty soon. Like I said before, if I missed your question, you got something important you want to know the answer to, hit me up on Instagram. I'm not too high and mighty or anything like that to not respond to questions unless you have questions about scammers, romance scams. I don't do that kind of a thing. But hit me up. I'll answer your guys' questions. Let's see if I can find some good ones. Bring back MOS Monday? There might be some here and there. The problem, if you guys don't know, the reason why I kind of stopped doing MOS Monday was because I've gotten to the point now where all of the really cool MOSs that everybody wants to know about, I've already covered them. So now we're starting to get into the obscure MOSs that there's less interest in. So those videos weren't performing very well. When I started getting into a few of those, like Air Traffic Controller and a few other ones, where the views were low compared to a lot of other videos that I would put out. And it's just because people want to know about infantry, MPs, 88 mics, special forces, medics, those kind of things, right? They don't care about a missile defense repairer, right? It's a smaller niche of people that want to know about this stuff. So those videos usually don't do very well. But it's not to say that I won't do some here and there. I just don't know when and how often it will be. Is getting associates hard during active duty because of time? Yes. Any type of college that you want to do on active duty, very, very difficult. There are some cases I've heard of people that had super chill units, the tempo was really low, and they were able to get some college time in there. But the majority, your most common soldier on active duty, you can't do it. You're too busy. You may have, your schedule's just too unpredictable to where you may have one week where you have a lot of free time and it would have been great to be doing some classes, but then the next week you're staying late in the motor pool, you're going to the field for 2 weeks, for a month, whatever, and it's just too unpredictable to be able to do classes sometimes. So that makes it really tough. We'll do this last one. I don't really get into politics, but we'll talk about this just real quickly. What's your view on possible complete withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan? It's a tough situation, right? You can't hold their hand forever. You can't, do all this stuff for them forever. But at the same time, they do need to step up. They do need to do things on their own without us being there. It's a very good chance that once we withdraw from there, that ISIS is going to overrun the hell out of the place, and it's going to be a problem in the future for us that we have to go back, or someone else, is going to have some kind of problems with them because of it. I don't know, right? There's no telling for it, but at the same time, I just feel like you can't stay there forever either. So I don't know what the answer would be for it. What's a good answer? Because in the end, they got to step up, they got to do their thing, but it's probably gonna result in ISIS and anybody else that wants to just take over, just running through them and probably taking over. So, couple questions will be into the stream here pretty soon. Trying to help you with what I know, Christopher Caswell. Awesome. Yeah, I encourage you guys, if you guys answer other people in the chat, right? That's cool. That's amazing too. That's helpful too. I mean, even if I answer the same question, right? It's just multiple opinions, right? That's the way to go. Chris looks at your name tag and just thinks, "Wait, I remember that name from the stream." So it'd be tough, like unless you're like a really regular person that's in the stream all the time. I'm probably not gonna remember your name. Not anything against you. It's just there's a lot of you guys, and then a lot of times it's not your real name. So like the regulars that are like the mods, for example, VGMR, Holy Hand Grenade, Eevee, right? I have no idea. I don't even know what VGMR's real name is. I don't know what Holy Hand Grenade's real name is. Eevee is Eevee, right? But that's all I know about Eevee. Bit Expert, right? One of our other mods, right? I don't know what Bit Expert's real name is. So if your username is not your real name, I'm not gonna know your real name. Yeah, MOSs change over time. Remember that, folks. Yeah, it's a good tip, Wayne, that Wayne's given. Not quite as bad as it was like back in the day. Like there was a point in time where they were realizing that certain MOSs was pointless to have when you can combine them, and they would combine this MOS with this MOS to make it one MOS that would do all of the job into one. They haven't been really doing that lately too much that I remember, that I've seen anyways. But it's always a possibility. Certain MOSs, though, are pretty much going to stay the way they are. 11 Bravos are probably always going to be 11 Bravos. 88 Mike's probably always going to be 88 Mike's. But some of your more obscure ones, and that's maybe what Wayne is trying to get at too, is that some of your more obscure things like a missile defense repairer kind of a thing may end up becoming more of an obscure MOS that they're like, you know what, we can easily combine missile defense repairer with this other repairer too, and they can just do both kind of a thing, and that can end up happening. No new chats will appear. I just noticed that. By the way, Chris, FY, the quota is capped out. Holy crap. You reached the cap on the quota. By the way, guys, if you didn't know, this whole thing where we're making these things pop up right here, right? This is thanks to the awesome user there in the chat, Zach VT, that we've been testing out to try to make this a cool thing to happen and be able to display him. So, awesome guys taking his free time to create this app to make it work for you guys in the stream. So again, shout out to Zach for that kind of stuff. But that's cool. We are close to the end of the stream. VGMR dropping a super chat. This account is used by more than one person. I take the name Kaz. Is that how it's pronounced? But Al is cool with me. I will probably forget that, VGMR. I'm probably always just going to call you VGMR. By the way, that is because I'm horrible with names. I'm horrible at pronouncing names, as some of you have seen in the chats before. I'm horrible at remembering names. Awful at that stuff. To give you like examples, I have had it before when I was in the Army and I was dating someone and she called and I forgot her name. We'd already been on like one date, 2 dates, something like that. I forgot her name. I was like, shit. So I'm horrible with names, and I've always been horrible with names. Streams are awesome. Well, thanks, Grant. Man, Bree with another super chat. We got to end the stream here. You guys keep on dropping super chats on me. Bree says, last donation for the night, second ever. I'm doing this because I believe in you and your channel, Chris. Best level. Thanks, Bree. Rock. You're awesome. I permit you to forget. Thanks, VGMR. How am I, John? I am great, but we are about to end the live stream here. I have an upcoming deployment. What stuff, random things you think I might need? I'm 11 Bravo, by the way. A good laptop, something for entertainment. When you do have the free time, it's great to sit there and watch movies. Get a hard drive, whatever, get people that have movies, whatever you can. Sometimes you pirate them. Not condoning that, but hey, do what you got to do. And just put a crap ton of movies on that hard drive so that way you have a ton of entertainment to watch on that deployment. That is usually one of the key things is entertainment, so that you may have a lot of free time, you may have very little free time, and you want to make sure that if you do have free time that you're not bored as shit. So yeah. All right, guys, thank you guys for coming to hang out. If you enjoyed the stream, hit that thumbs up kind of a thing. I'm going to start making it to where there's a playlist on the channel. So if you missed the live streams, you can check them out on the playlist maybe. If you're not following me on Instagram, I have a link down in the description box down below. As I said earlier, we're trying to work on that Instagram game. I got to get that Instagram followers up. We also got the YouTube followers. We got to try to get 100,000 before the end of the year. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe to that kind of stuff. Discord channel. If you're into the Discord channel, especially like those of you that you're like, hey, I love coming to these streams and I love talking to people in this chat here and making conversation with other people. If you want to continue that type of experience, that is specifically what the Discord channel is great for. Is you can join the Discord channel, free to join, all that kind of fun stuff. If you don't have an account, you just got to create an account. And you can sit there and chat with other people that have the same kind of interests as maybe people that are already in the military, veterans, people that want to join the military, all that kind of fun stuff. So join the Discord. That is all in the description box down there as well. So thank you guys for coming to hang out. This is my live stream that I do every other Thursday. So that means we will not be back next Thursday, but the following Thursday. And sometimes we do some random ones. That's also sometimes a key thing to be a member of the Discord channel, because sometimes random Discord live streams, for those of you that want more than just one every other Thursday, then you should be a member of the Discord channel. So you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming to hang out. See you guys again real soon. See ya.
my heart on high drive.